The following message is a presentation by Ron Hutchcraft Ministries. This message was recorded before a live audience. Now, here's Ron Hutchcraft.
I want to show you an example of single power. Now someone's ready to grab this because popcorn didn't do it for him, but this I know this says Hungry Man Dinner, and we just picked this up real quick at the store today, but I'll tell you why this is an example of single power. Do you realize there are so many singles in America? There's never been a group like this, a generation like this, couple generations represented here tonight, and then there's me from Fred Flintstone. But do you realize that you've revolutionized the whole food industry because they never used to have like these single meals? Do you realize that singles are 40% of America? 40% of America. Let's talk about a power group. If you guys all got together, you could have a revolution. If you just knew what is it we want to do, that's the only thing. You'd have to figure that part out. But I mean, there are all these single. That's just one example of the tremendous thing that has happened related to the explosion of singles in America. You are part of a very, very powerful group. In fact, the word single means so many different things these days. Some people are single, some people are single again, some people here tonight are single parents, and we've all got a different, and some are a blend of those. You just all kinds of things that the word single means, even in a group this size. In fact, I'll give you a great perspective on single. A friend of mine has a friend who has been, he's an Irish pastor. He's well up in years. He has been single his whole life, and he is known for being very joyful and very contented as a person. And somebody said to him, "Why is that?" Now, he could have just said, "Why not?" But I've got to tell you his answer. I wrote it down so I'd get it right. He said, "I'd rather go through life wanting what I don't have than having what I don't want." You might want to make that your life motto. I don't know. He goes on to say, the desirable has always been unattainable, and the attainable has always been undesirable. Now, I don't know if you want to make that your philosophy or not, but I'll tell you, in the whole area of people relationships these days, we are in whole new territory in the 90s. Whether you're single or married, whatever category you're in. In fact, I can tell you 3 words that I think describe the challenge of trying to live with the stresses and the pressures of the 90s. It goes back to the 1st century BC when they didn't have very good maps. In fact, in those days, if they didn't know what was beyond a certain line on the map, they just drew monsters and dragons, which would discourage exploration. That'd stop me. So there was a Roman battalion out in the 1st century BC, out on maneuvers, and their mission took them beyond the line on the map. And the Roman commander sent a messenger back to Rome with a simple message. He said, "Please send new orders. We have just marched off the map." I believe that's where we are in our world, don't you? We have marched off the map. There is no map for relationships like this today. This is nothing like the generations that preceded us. Marriage doesn't mean what marriage used to mean. Sex doesn't mean what sex used to mean. Family doesn't mean what family used to mean. Job security doesn't mean what job security used to mean. Financial security doesn't mean what financial security used to mean. Masculine doesn't mean what masculine. Feminine. We've marched off the map. And when you're living in a world that doesn't have a map anymore, generations before us had a map and everybody went by it. But today the map's out the window. And when you're living in a world without a map, it's really easy to get lost. I can get lost with a map. Just ask my wife. Of course, being a man, I'm never lost. But just finding a scenic route. And of course, we wouldn't stop at a gas station. Why would we want to do that? But the fact is that living in this kind of a world, it's very easy to get lost when you don't have a map and to actually end up buying some lies. Our society today, since there's really seems to be no map, our society today has created some ways of living and some ideas about love and about happiness and about security and about significance and about success that sound good, and the majority of people are buying them. But I've been involved with young people since 1963, which means I have been involved with everybody. Oh, this is terrible. I'm still involved with them from the age of 13 to 50. This is horrible. Archaeologists just discovered the remains of my high school. And I mean, I look at the kids that I've been involved with, and they're all grown up now, and I've watched as 2 or 3 generations have tried to follow these lies, and I've watched so many people end up with disappointment and disillusionment and despair. So tonight, our goal in these next few minutes is to expose the lies that too many singles buy, and to try to come up with the truth about love and success and significance. I have a reputation in my family for planning these. Well, you remember Bill and Ted's, do you remember what kind of adventure? Excellent adventure. Well, I have a reputation with my children for planning anything but excellent adventures. Dad has these great adventures on vacation, and I could take the rest of the night telling you how I've come up with adventures that were not very great and always seem to end in disaster somehow. One time we were out on Cape Cod. They have giant monster sand dunes there. And somebody had told me that if you climb this one monster sand dune, that you would have a beautiful view of the Atlantic Ocean. I said, go for it. Let's go, kids. We are going to climb the sand dunes. They're going, no, we're not. Yes, we are. I am the papa. I earn the money, my vacation. Let's go. We are going up the mountain. So we climb, and the little legs are going, and the little legs are pumping. Mine, I mean. And we're pumping and pumping. And their littler legs are trying to get up there, and it's hot. And, of course, I waited till the middle of the day. Duh, part of the great adventure. And we're climbing up. And when you're going up sand, it's like much activity, little progress. It's just not very much fun. And we finally get to the top, and we're just, just about out of gas. And we get to the top. And there to reward us, finally, there it is, another sand dune. So we go down the sand dune, which doesn't take long, yes. And so we roll down. We've got sand in our everything by then. And we start back up. I say, I'm sure it's over that next sand dune. We climb, and they're going, Dad, please. I say, come on, climb every sand dune, and we can do this. We get to the top, and this time, of course, there was another sand dune. We did this all afternoon, up the sand dune, down the sand dune, up the sand dune, down the sand dune. And I was operating on a very simple approach to life. My philosophy was this, that what I'm looking for is just over the next hill. It never was. Do you know some people live their whole life like that? Trying to find love? Trying to find fulfillment? Trying to find worth? I mean, stuff we were dealing with when we were teenagers. I wonder if sometimes what we are just teenagers with mileage as we get more years. We started a long time ago, some of us, climbing one sand dune, and we said, I know what I'm looking for. It's right over that next hill, right over that. We got to the top of the hill, it was just another sand dune. We've been climbing sand dunes to nowhere all of our life. Put a lot of effort, but not much to show for it in terms of some love and fulfillment. It's because those sand dunes represent the lies that too many of us buy. So let's take a look at them. I want to give you 4 lies that singles buy, and each one I want to give you the truth about love and success and significance. You say, well, how do you know what the truth is? We could have a debate on the truth. Well, you got to have some measure to decide whether something's a lie or not. So here's what I'm going to use as my standard. My standard is going to be the best-selling life map in history. The world's best-selling book. You may have heard of it. It is called the Bible. Now, it's really funny. Nobody knows what's in it, but everybody has one. It's terrific. But inside that book is incredible ancient wisdom that has stood the test of time for centuries. And, fads have come and gone, cultures have come and gone, empires have come and gone, but it's still really good stuff. It's still really solid. So, using that as a standard of what is really true, let's look at what the lies are.